Come on in, sit back and relax. You're listening to episode 191 of the WealthTech Today podcast. I'm your host, Craig Iskowitz of Ezra Group Consulting. And this podcast features interviews, news, and analysis on the trends and best practices all around wealth management technology. And this episode is part of our series on RIA technology, where I speak to executives of fast-growing RIAs about their tech stack. My guests for this episode are two executives from Brook Wealth Management, which is located in Katona, New York, about 40 miles north of New York City. It is Alan Bazar, CEO, and Andrea O'Neill, Managing Director. And Brook Wealth Management has around $1 billion in asset management, in AUM. We had a great conversation, talked about their tech stack, why they made certain decisions, why they didn't make other decisions, how they built it. Really interesting conversation. But before we get started, I have a message for executives of broker-dealers, RIAs, family offices, or TAMPs. Your tech debt is holding back your business growth. I know it is. Your old software platform is rusty and falling apart and needs a complete overhaul or to be replaced entirely. Your different systems don't communicate with each other, and it's driving your ops staff and advisors crazy with manual processes and errors. If that describes you, then you should run, not walk, to our website at EzraGroupLLC.com and fill out the Contact Us form on the homepage. Our experienced team can evaluate your technology ecosystem, deliver targeted recommendations, optimize your existing systems and operations, or run an RFP and help you implement new software to take your firm to the next level. You can take advantage of our free consultation by going to EzraGroupLLC.com. A few quick housekeeping notes before we continue. We support a number of nonprofit organizations that do fantastic work for a variety of causes. One that you should check out is the Invest in Others Foundation, which you can learn more about at investinothers.org. Please subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. And now, let's kick this thing off. I'm excited to introduce our next guests on the program. We have Alan Bazar, CEO, and Andrea O'Neill, Managing Director from Brook Wealth Management. Hey, everyone, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Craig. Nice to be here.
I'm glad you can make it. Alan, where are you calling in from?
I'm in our office in Katona, New York.
Andrea, are you also in the office?
I am in my home office, just a little bit south in Ardsley, New York. Both are in Westchester.
Fantastic. I'm in New Jersey. We're not far away, and we're enjoying the beautiful weather of this belated spring, so I'm sure we're all happy about it, but we're all inside, unfortunately. But let's kick things off. Can you please give us the 30-second elevator pitch for Brook?
Sure, absolutely. Brook Wealth Management, we are a full-service wealth management firm dedicated to all things related financial to helping our clients. Our business is focused on the ultra-high net worth and high net worth space primarily, a la a multi-client family office.
And this podcast, of course, is all about technology for advisors and advisory offices. So let's talk about your strategy overall. How do you guys think about leveraging technology to deliver services to your clients?
That's a great question. A long time ago, we spent time and energy thinking about our technology stack. When we started the business and being an independent RIA, it was a key focus, and it's evolved over time. What's interesting about it is we've worked hard at continuing to, way back in the day, we used to mail everything very simplistically, and we've continued to work hard at providing a much more holistic digital experience. What's interesting about that is not every client wants it today. Still today, some of our older clients, but we're continuing to push that and as a focus. And of course, the next generation is very savvy and is very accustomed to that.
Indeed, they are. Yeah, we're seeing the exact same thing. And of course, as more and more younger investors come in, the G2 and G3 come into your practices, I'm sure they will take advantage of those digital experiences. So can you talk about, when you mentioned digital, which areas are you seeing the most usage Is it more your client portal? Do you have a mobile app? When you talk about digital onboarding, what are the areas where you're seeing the most growth?
I'll take a stab at this. I would say the most growth that we've seen in the last couple of years, especially since the beginning of the pandemic, has been clients and investments that we make's ability to receive electronic signatures, and that's been huge for our client experience. Being able to onboard a client completely through, let's say, DocuSign, a client able to make investments in a number of LPs or hedge funds, private equity investments, all done, electronic signatures, has been hugely helpful for our clients.
Do you use DocuSign for that?
We mainly use DocuSign. Yep.
Do you have that integrated into any other parts of your tech stack?
DocuSign is integrated directly into our primary custodian, where most of our clients have accounts custodied, and that's Pershing.
Pershing's a good one.
Yeah.
And I understand through your latest ADV, you have around a little over $1 billion in assets.
Correct.
That makes you a good-sized firm. And I know your firm starts off with financial planning as your process, your core process to understand the complete picture of your client circumstances. So what financial planning software do you use, and why did you select it?
Quite a few years ago, we chose eMoney. It was the leader at that time with Money Guide Pro, which shortly thereafter, I believe, was purchased by Envestnet. And we do not at this time utilize Envestnet, so we were left with eMoney as a leader as part of the financial planning process. And so our financial planning process is very bespoke and customized to each client. So we use different parts of it at different points in time, but it's been very useful.
I can imagine it would be perfect for a firm such as yours, which is mainly catering to high net worth and ultra high net worth investors. Do you utilize the estate planning functionality in eMoney?
We do for some of our clients. There's a heavier lift for it, but just starting.
How are you finding it?
I'm not the primary user of that on our team. We have dedicated certified financial planners. So probably I'm very candidly, I'm not the best person to ask that question. However, when we're in all our team evaluations, the team is very supportive of continuing to utilize that software.
Excellent. We like to hear that. So moving from financial planning to portfolio management, trading, rebalancing, what's the software you use for those features, functionality?
We use Blaze, that was recently purchased by LPL, I believe.
It was. Have you noticed any changes in the platform since it was acquired?
Not substantial from our perspective.
We like Blaze. We've of course follow all the software vendors and all the different technologies in all areas. Blaze is an area we like. I know they've got some strong capabilities around algorithmic trading. What are the specific parts of the software that you use, and what makes it what differentiated it from other? There's a lot of portfolio management software out there. Why'd you pick them?
They were a very cost-effective solution relative to some of the larger established players to facilitate the type of trading that we do for our separately managed accounts.
Another requirement was the ability to integrate with our performance reporting platform. So we're using Black Diamond for consolidated reporting for our clients, and Blaze was, one of the better options that, would integrate with that.
Excellent. We like Black Diamond as well. So you're just using the Black Diamond for performance reporting, not the full advisor suite?
We use all of Black Diamond. We use the full suite, and we use the client communication portal. That's where we send out our client reports. It's integrated with Pershing, so clients can get brokerage statements if they'd like them there. We have some clients that we use that portal for sharing documents back and forth, but again, it's on a client by client basis, so not everybody is utilizing it as much as others.
Indeed. What will, if on the client portal for Black Diamond, are there any features you wish they had that they don't have?
They are integrated with Pershing, but it's not a direct integration yet. So we have to click a couple buttons and statements will be populated, but there is a plan for direct connection with Pershing's confirms and statements going forward. So we're excited for that.
Yeah, we have heard other clients talking about that, wanting 1099s and other forms from the custodian, whether it's Pershing or Fidelity or Schwab, to appear directly in the client portal. And it is an issue for more than one firm. So yeah, we've seen a lot of client portal related issues, especially around bringing in financial planning data as well. Some portals allow the financial planning data to appear on the client portal as well. When you look at, so going back to Blaze Portfolio, you selected it because it integrates with Black Diamond performance reporting, which is important. Are there any specific features of Blaze that you like? I mean, how often do you guys rebalance? Is it do you rebalance on a frequency basis? Is it more of a drift away from the market, or there's some other time frames you use, or some sort of other triggers you use to decide when to rebalance?
So our risk monitoring and rebalance process is, we're very long-term oriented in the way we approach things. So we're not a heavy user of the automated algorithmic rebalance functionality. We do it on a very bespoke, customized basis for each client portfolio.
Gotcha. Which makes sense. Yes, you're not rebalancing hundreds of accounts at a time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, our trade groups can have tens of accounts for sure. Okay. But we're doing it, we're going through that process on a very manual basis to ensure each client gets the attention they need.
It makes sense. And we know that Blaze does have a niche in multifamily offices for ultra high net worth managers because of their ability to support bespoke investment strategies. So it's not surprising with end-tier household models, legacy holdings. Yeah. Do you guys do a wide range of asset classes?
We do, however, not in all asset classes internally. So we're open architecture. And so we will allocate out to outside experts in addition to supporting an allocation, let's say a traditional long only equity. We'll bolster, use other parts of other experts in other parts of the asset allocation model.
Would that be external SMA managers or TAMPs?
Not necessarily TAMPs, but other SMA managers are certainly part of it. Every asset class, if it makes sense, is fair game. Everything from venture capital, private equity, investment grade debt, whatever might make sense at a point in time in a given investment cycle. And for a given client, what might make sense, whether it's a liquid separately managed account or even just buying a simple ETF. We view those decisions, all those things at our disposal to optimize the investment portfolio for the client.
Very good. Looking at your overall tech stack, how well are your applications integrated? Where do you see the best integrations, and where are some areas we wish the vendors would integrate better?
You want to take the bottom one, Andrea? Does anything come to mind in terms of improvement and integration?
If we could integrate all the fund administrators for our investments, outside of Pershing into our performance reporting platform, that's the dream. It is certainly not the case right now, although there are, more and more pushes to get data automated and uploaded to Black Diamond or other performance reporting tools. That's the biggest pain point for us, currently, but we're hopeful that the technology is going to get there.
We all have our fingers crossed. How many external or outside fund administrators are you working with? 30 to 40, Alan. So in addition to the fund administrators and recommended investments that we've worked with clients to make, we also have clients requested to add other investments that are not related to Hollowbrook to their performance reports. So, there tend to be a lot of different outside data sources coming in for our consolidated reports, whether that's a bank account that's held away from us, a private investment, real estate, jewelry, anything clients want to include, we can do that for them. Have you looked at any tools such as Canoe that can import PDF files from illiquid assets and other non-standard investments?
I spend a lot of time looking at those types of technology platforms. They tend to be expensive. Also, they are not 100%. There are still issues that occur with the uploading of information, and having to be that person to clean it up after would be time consuming. So there's been a lot of interesting ones that we've looked at. I'm blanking on the most recent platform, but I think that the technology is moving in the right direction, and that sooner rather than later, that will be the norm for RIAs such as ourselves. And I think the price is going to come way down.
Let me just take a quick break from this interview to talk about the Invest in Others charitable foundation. I'm fortunate enough to be participating in this charitable organization, and they give me the honor of every year helping to judge some of the charities that are going to be awarded money. And you can get money for your charity if you are a financial advisor or an advisory firm. And you can also participate in a program that Invest in Others is running called the Charitable Champions. This recognizes financial advisory firms that give back to their communities. Let me just read a little bit. This is on their website, investinothers.org. The Charitable Champions recognizes financial advisory firms that give back to their communities by promoting a culture of philanthropy amongst their financial advisors and staff. You can submit your firm name to the organization. The application is already open. The deadline is July 7th, and the winners will be announced August 16th. Submissions will be evaluated blindly by a panel of advisors based on criteria including leadership and culture, events and activities, incentives, contributions, and impact. Now, I'm not a judge on this. I judge usually advisor charities, and it's very difficult to do that kind of judging because they give us 10 charities with 10 advisors, and we have to decide which advisor gave the most back to their charity and helped them the most. It's really tough, but all the money is going to a great cause. So please go to investinothers.org, and if you are running a financial advisory firm, sign up for the Charitable Champions list. I think you're right. We're seeing that across the industry. That's just generally technology prices coming down, features are going up. Do you use anything else besides Black Diamond for performance reporting? Do they also generate the statements, the consolidated statements?
Yep. So the consolidated performance statements come out of Black Diamond. We worked very long and hard on having the reports be exactly what us and our clients want to see. So we have pretty standard reports, but we also will make custom reports as needed for a client if there's something, specific that they're looking for.
How do you find Black Diamond is when it comes to customizing reports on a bespoke basis?
The system is pretty flexible already. So we found there hasn't been that much that we've needed Black Diamond to go back and, update or change kind of on their back end. Maybe we're asking them to create a new segment breakout that we haven't seen before. But other than that, it's pretty customizable.
That's what we hear. We've actually been using Black Diamond with customers, I think it's at least 15 years. So long before they were acquired by Advent. We've been working with them.
We were a little later to the Black Diamond portal. We were
okay.
on Advent On Demand for a long time,
Mhm.
which was a workhorse. It did what it needed to do. Maybe the information didn't come out as pretty of a format, but overall, that was a pretty easy change from Advent On Demand to Black Diamond, considering SS&C owning them.
Mhm. Do you use any of the Advent products besides that?
Not that I could think of, Alan.
No.
Always curious. Great. How about any internally built software? Have you built anything on your own that you couldn't find outside?
No, we have not. We've not. Everything in our tech stack is off the shelf.
Good to know. It's nice to hear that. We're seeing a lot of firms, spending a lot of money building very, very specific applications. And the issue is it's cheap to build an application. You can usually find a programmer to build almost anything you want, but the problem is maintaining it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it costs, because you have to maintain it basically forever. And that's where the costs tend to expand.
Yeah, and with the speed, the way we've sort of looked at things is we want to be a beneficiary of the speed at which the market is changing, and being able to have our technology stack be a beneficiary of those things over time.
That's what we always recommend, because by building it yourself, you lose that capability that the vendors have when they're bringing in best practices from hundreds of clients that they're merging into their software. You're now getting advantage of. Whereas if you built it yourself, it's just your best practices, which cannot never be as robust as you would get from a vendor. In most cases, there's still sometimes. Can we talk about how often you review your tech stack? So you guys have been in business a long time. How often do you go back and take a look at your vendors and your tech to see, is it working well? Can it be optimized? Are there other vendors out there that we can use instead?
So we're always, Andrea and I in particular in the firm are always communicating about things we're finding in the marketplace, either through conversations with relationships or reading an article or what have you. On a formal basis, we're looking every 6 months, we're having a conversation internally in terms of, is there anything we've seen? Is there anything we're doing different that should be done different in terms of our tech stack that we should be adding, evolving, changing? And we have some outside relationships that help us think that through as well.
Terrific. We recommend doing that at least annually, but every 6 months is even better.
It's really an internal conversation to make sure it's staying front and center, given the importance of it.
Absolutely, because we find some firms we work with, some large RIAs similar to you, don't look at their tech. Maybe years will go by and they haven't even taken a look at their tech overall in a long time, and things aren't working well, it's not optimized, or maybe, as you mentioned, there's better things available that they don't even know about. So glad to hear you're looking at things on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say also, we would be much quicker to update internal software versus anything that's client facing. We like to keep the client's life as easy as possible. They're not having to set up a new portal login once a quarter because we found the next great thing. So that's something that we're really cognizant of.
I can understand. Clients don't like change. And do you only have one portal, or do you also have them going into the Pershing portal for anything or any other portals?
They could go into Pershing if they'd like to. We'll set them up with access and educate them on the differences. But for the most part, our clients are if they're going anywhere, they're probably just going to go to Black Diamond. More often than not, they're going to reach out to me or somebody else on the service team and just ask for what they need directly.
Indeed. So Black Diamond provides the portal, not eMoney.
You're right. Yeah.
Very good. Let's talk about marketing. What external digital marketing tools do you use? Why did you pick them, and how are they? What are you using them for in terms of building out your business, and what type of marketing capabilities are you using?
So today we're using HubSpot. We moved to HubSpot probably 18 months ago, 2 years ago. And we used it for our email communication and primarily today with clients.
Mm-hmm. Do you do any marketing campaigns to specific demographics to grow your business?
We do not specifically through any of the technology channels.
Does HubSpot integrate with your CRM? I forgot to ask, what is your CRM?
We use WealthBox for our CRM, and HubSpot, I believe, does integrate with that. It also integrates with our internal communication tool, which is Slack.
Good to know. How do you like WealthBox?
We like it. We've actually used a number of different CRMs over, the past 10 years. WealthBox has been here with us the longest, and I definitely like it the best.
How long have you had WealthBox?
Probably 5 years, Alan, would you say?
Yeah, probably.
And what made you select them over the other ones you work with?
So I will say we were on, what's the big one? Salesforce for a little while. And what we found was, while it's a very robust platform, it really requires a lot of personalization and it's coding and technology to really have it be working the way you would need it to. So we have found WealthBox to be the simplest, does everything that we need. There are number of different areas in there as far as signing tasks. That's where we do all of our opportunity lists to see what, new client prospects we've got in the pipeline. And the integration with Slack has been huge as well.
Oh, that's excellent. Can you give me an example of how you use the Slack WealthBox integration? Like, what's a use case or an issue that gets resolved quickly because you've got that integration?
If Alan talked to a client who, needs some money moved or needs to do something, there's a tax bill coming up, he will log that in the client's page on WealthBox, and that'll automatically share to a channel that we have set up on Slack. So he doesn't need to update me and the client's page on the CRM system. It's all done once, and we can just jump on whatever the request is from there.
It's been very useful in terms of the team communication and understanding. If someone spoke to someone, like in Andrea's example, it's been very helpful for keeping everyone up to speed.
That's terrific. We love hearing that. I love hearing how when applications integrate and make things easier overall. Last couple of questions. Do you feel you guys are more innovative in terms of cutting edge, or do you prefer to stick with software from established vendors in general?
We tend to stick with established vendors.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any plans to...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Craig. I didn't mean to speak on top of you. We want to be forward leaning and thinking about our technology stack in terms of adoption. However, we're typically not adopting something that's not from an established organization.
And last question, do you have any plans to change any of your software in the next 12 to 18 months?
Not at this time.
Everything's just working great.
Yeah. Until it's not.
Yeah. And until we figure out the seamless integration with outside administrators, that's the big one for us.
Well, putting out a call to any vendors who have that option that can integrate multiple fund administrators, please give the team at Hollowbrook a call. And team at Hollowbrook, Alan and Andrea, thank you so much for being on the program. It was fun talking to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's Craig again. And here are my top 3 takeaways from this episode. Hollowbrook has a well-defined tech stack that includes software such as Blaze Portfolio for portfolio management, Black Diamond for performance reporting and client portal, and eMoney for financial planning. All great applications. And by the way, all these applications have good Ezra Group WealthTech integration scores. Number 2, they use HubSpot for email communication and marketing automation, as well as WealthBox as their CRM, and that's integrated with Slack for inter-team communications. They found WealthBox to be the simplest and most effective CRM for their needs, and they have no plans to change the software in the near future, except they're looking for some seamless integration with outside asset administrators. Number 3, Hollowbrook regularly reviews their tech stack to ensure it's optimized and considers new vendors if necessary. I can't emphasize enough how important it is, at least annually, get your stakeholders together, review your tech. Even if your decision is to do nothing, that's still a decision. You still took a look. You can at least talk to your superiors or to the board and say, hey, we check out the tech every year. We're fine with it. Or, hey, we've decided there's some issues. We want to make some changes. You should really do that. It helps. And congratulations, you made it to the end of another episode of the WealthTech Today podcast. Please go to our website, EzraGroupLLC.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage, and sign up for our newsletter. Once a month, you'll receive an email chock full of wealth management goodness, news, information, updates. You will not be disappointed. Thanks for listening, and talk to you all again next time.